tell you what, the main act is much, much better. But before that, we have a gentleman who's done this one, I think, how many times have you done it here before? Twice or once? Twice. He's done this twice before. He came to Zurich last night and he did it there, and of course it's a very different kind of audience in Zurich. As everybody in Basel knows, without even going there, you know that they're different. And he did very well indeed, and you're going to have to please give him a very warm welcome. He's been working on this for a few months now, really, I guess. Yeah, all right. And Mike's taking the piss out of him for sitting in the front row. So and Mike's now back there and having a fag, and I'm going to sit there. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to our open spot tonight. That is Mr. Jacob Dixon.
Is it really dark in here, or is it just me? Anyway, my name is Jacob Dixon. I've been living in New York. I've been living in Switzerland for 4 years. I'm from New York. And I finally learned 2 new German sentences. They are, ich liebe dich and ich muss erbrechen. Which, trust me, is the wrong thing to say during lovemaking. My wife and I were getting into it, and I chose the wrong time to show off my new sentences. But I like the language, it's great, but there's one word in this language that bothers me. It bothers me whenever I hear it, or whenever I read it. Schwarz. Every time I hear that word, it gets under my skin. Especially when I go to work in the morning, I go into the tram, and I have to read the sign that's as big as the tram. The very first sentence in it reads, Schwarz fahren ist unfair. So I said, okay, I see where they're going with this. At least they're honest about it over here, right? And speaking of black, I've been getting a lot of backhanded statements lately. You know those comments that are really evil, but they start off being nice? Somebody said to me, I'm not a racist, but you people are way too violent. So I thought about what he had to say, and then I blasted him. That may or may not have happened, by the way. But it's not enough getting used to the German language. There are a couple of English words as well that we get used to. For instance, this thing, right? In the States, we call these things cell phones. Over here, they're called handies. Now in America, a handy is what that special somebody would do to you to certain parts of your body using her hand. On the way over here, a guy was in a rush and he walked over to me and said, excuse me, can I have a handy? I said, no. I'm a married man. There's nothing wrong with it, but that's your thing. It's not my thing. Another word to get used to, you guys know what a pencil is? On the back of a pencil is an eraser. Well, at least that's what we call them in the States, erasers. Over here, they're called rubbers. In America, a rubber is another word for condom. And I work in a school, and I gave my kids some math problems to do. And one of them asked me, excuse me, can I borrow a rubber? I said, no, get your own. I only have one left and I need it for tonight. But he said, Mr. Dixon, I made a mistake. I said, well, it's a little late for a rubber now, isn't it? That may or may not have happened, by the way. And that's the second time I've said that statement, and there's a reason why I keep saying it. There are lots of expats in here, right? How many of you are either dating, married to, or working with a Swiss German? Okay. You ever try telling a joke to that person? It's like pulling teeth sometimes, isn't it? I told somebody a joke, he looked at me stone-faced, and he said, that didn't happen, that's not funny. said, well, Hans-Peter. A joke doesn't have to actually happen in order to be funny. You could use your imagination to suspend disbelief. He said, nein, das ist nicht passiert, I laugh not. So I said, okay, if it did happen, then would it be funny? Maybe. Maybe that happened, or maybe it did. And before I leave, I just want to say Barack Obama has been elected the President of the United States. I am very happy about that. And his victory has inspired me to run for office. Yep, I'm going to be one of the 27 people running Switzerland, or whatever the number is. My first order of business is to change that stupid sign on the tram. Instead of Schwarzfahren is unfair, it'll say Schwarzfahren is not so bad. But here's how I'm going to win. My campaign platform is going to be straightforward and simple. No more wash days. I'll say it again. No more wash days. You will not have to wait a week and a half to wash your clothes. And here's how it's going to happen. I'm going to turn Switzerland into Brooklyn, New York by placing laundromats on every single street corner. Jobs will be created, everybody will get their clothes washed, and finally, Switzerland will be happy. That's it for me. Take Dixon, vote for me.
Well, let's hear it for Jake. Come on, that was fucking good. He's getting better and better. It has to be said. I think this is good stuff. Anyone who wants to have a go at doing that can. You've only got to ask, and I know you're all itching to try. I can see you're all waiting to be iconic. Yes. Guys.